Andrew O'Connell here, introducing you to our Pristine Market Analysis Indicator, which is included in our Pristine suite of Tradingview tools. So what is this indicator and why is it useful? Well, it's incredibly useful for spotting rotations and assessing market health in a matter of seconds. I've been using similar dashboards for the past decade, and prior to working with my partner John, this tool has always been locked away in Excel. Until now. As part of the unique trading style I've developed, I'm constantly monitoring the market from both a top-down and bottom-up perspective, and this is the tool I primarily use for that top-down macro analysis of market conditions. So let's take a deeper dive into what the tool is doing. We have approximately 40 assets in this layout, and they're grouped into 4 tables. We have equity alternatives, global equities, US equities, as well as pristine sectors. Each table in market analysis is sorted by this 1-day percent change column. That allows you to see which assets are outperforming and underperforming, and you can observe how that evolves intraday or over the course of multiple trading sessions. In future iterations of this tool, we'd like to sort by these other columns as well. If you purchase our indicator set, you'll have access to all of those future updates. This is just our starting point. If you look at this table and you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know what those columns mean, keep in mind we have tool tips for each column in this indicator. It was important to us when designing our suite of tools that all calculations are transparent to users, because in our shared experience as fellow users of tools, it's nearly impossible to develop confidence and put real money on the line if you don't know how everything is working under the hood. So again, we have our 1-day percent change column, and we converted that to an ATR change to normalize for the volatility of each asset. So for example, if 10-year Treasury futures increase by 1%, that's a significant move, whereas for Bitcoin, not so much. Next, we have our daily closing range column and our 52-week closing range column. We also have our moving average extension metric, also known as MAX. This allows users to gauge how many ATR percent multiples an asset is away from a moving average of their choice. And finally, we have our proprietary Pristine Stage Analysis Framework. We calculate our stages on 2 time frames, short-term and long-term, and it's a completely quantitative and rules-based process. If you'd like a deep dive into our stage analysis methodology, I encourage you to review our documentation. We spent a ton of time and effort to make sure that it includes everything you need to know about these indicators, so definitely leverage that. Moving on, what kind of insights can we glean from our market analysis tool? 1, we can identify if money is flowing into equities or equity alternatives like bonds, gold, and Bitcoin. Next, we can perform relative strength analysis of US versus international equities. As we can see here, we have the total US stock ETF VTI, and we also have that total international stock ETF VXUS. And this has been a huge theme throughout this year. International stocks are outperforming domestic stocks, and that's not something many traders are aware of, and they don't really have a process for tracking that. Next, moving over to our sector snapshot, we can clearly see if money's rotating into risk-on or risk-off sectors. So for example, for today, we can clearly see home builders and energy were leading this session. But again, this is going to evolve over time. And that brings us to the final but very important feature. This can be incredibly useful for your workflow. You can leverage the replay feature within Tradingview to actually see what the market looked like at key turning points in the market sequence. So if we go to this replay, we turn on those candles, we can navigate into the past, and our table is going to show us what the breakdown looked like. So this is very useful if you're trying to study the past to learn about what could happen in the future. So now as you're looking at this dashboard, you will notice that some metrics are shaded dark, some are shaded light. We designed this tool to make those outlier values that are worth paying attention to jump right off the page at you. And those data points that are within a normal range or haven't changed much, those are colored light. If you have multiple monitors, I recommend keeping this indicator on a separate monitor to your main charting layout during trading hours. That way you two can quickly monitor for changes in the trading environment. This tool has been incredibly useful for my own trading, and I think it will be useful for yours as well. Take care.